All right, so hello everybody. It is, I don't know what day it is. All right, so hello everybody. It is Tuesday, the 24th of March. It is about 10:30 in the morning, and just some facts and figures for you. Since we last checked in, we now have about 509 cases in India that are reported. Again, everybody that I've spoken with feels like that number is way underreported. Kind of much the same way you're seeing around the world. Testing remains an issue here. But anyways, the official number is 509. I don't remember what it was when I checked in 2 days ago, but I know it was around 300, 330, something like that. So definitely, clearly, the numbers are starting to go up, which is sort of what I've been told to expect. And not entirely surprising. But there are some new things to chat about. So when we spoke last, it was Sunday. It was the first day that India was doing the Janta curfew, which was essentially a full day lockdown. Um, there were, I think, some exemptions for medical needs and for grocery needs and whatnot. It was voluntary, but by and large, it was everybody was asked to stay indoors. And by and large, it sounds like everybody really complied. I think, obviously there's always going to be exceptions, but it went well based on the information that I heard. So that's encouraging news. At 5 p.m., there was a national come to your balcony and celebrate moment. So it's pretty interesting. Literally 5 on the dot. It's probably the only time I've ever seen anything happen on the dot in India. So the concept behind it was to spark some community pride, and I think they'd seen a lot of what has been happening in Italy in terms of the singing on the balconies and all this stuff. So this is sort of an Indian way of doing that. Officially it was to give thanks to the frontline workers, the firefighters, the ambulance workers, the grocery workers, the sanitation workers, the people who are still out doing their jobs, and sort of a national show of support. Following that was, sadly and unsurprisingly, a lot of misinformation that was going around on WhatsApp, talking about how, the overwhelming sound from the streets of India has sent cosmic waves that have defeated the virus and all sorts of nonsense like that. But, it's really hard in a country that's this big with, a very powerful rumor mill, especially in the form of WhatsApp, to control that kind of stuff. But I also did read a lot of really good, there's a lot of good information online, Economic Times, Times of India, Hindustan Times, that, really got out there quickly and was saying, no, obviously that's not science and that's not true. But the national spirit was, I think, felt palpably lifted on Sunday evening. I also did hear reports, but again, it's just hearsay. But I heard reports from a journalist friend of mine that there were a lot of instances where people went onto the street to party at 5 p.m. to celebrate the defeat of coronavirus, which obviously sort of defeats the whole purpose of a curfew. But I think, and I'm hopeful that those incidents were limited in scope. I didn't see anything like that, so I take it with a grain of salt. But so that's what happened on Sunday, and then immediately after, or thereabouts, it was announced that the country would go on a lockdown of sorts, and that there would be a limit for businesses to provide only essential services. And then individual states and union territories, at their own discretion, augmented the rules. The Delhi city, which is a very large region and is home to about 28 million people, as a whole, essentially shut the borders with neighboring states, and declared that everybody was to remain home unless they worked in an essential service. Ostensibly, deliveries would still be allowed, grocery shopping would be allowed. You'd be allowed to go out of your house for the purpose of grocery shopping or essential services, so meaning medical appointments, pharmacy, that kind of stuff. I think my understanding is very much in line with a lot of the thinking in other countries that are experimenting with this. I will say that I do consider letting your dog out to use the bathroom on a very limited basis constitutes an essential need. So on Sunday during the original trial day, I did actually have to take Sumit for a walk. And we went at about 4 p.m. And it was spooky. There was literally nobody on the streets of our neighborhood. I really didn't come into contact with anyone. The park itself was closed. That's not terribly uncommon, but it's just a little short fence to hop over. So yeah, I took her for a quick walk. It was quiet. You could hear the birds. It was very uncommon for our typical experience here in Delhi. It's kind of peaceful, actually. So we took that walk on Sunday, and then we did the same yesterday. So typically, Summit goes for her 3 walks. She's got a midday walk. We've managed to negotiate the noon walk out. But we still need to let her pee at least twice a day. So we're still doing the morning walk and the afternoon walk. Way too much information about our dog schedule, but wanted to let you know this is literally the only thing we're currently leaving the house for. But in my time going for those walks, I can say that the colony that we live in, which is already... So let me back up. So different cities in India work differently, but in Delhi, for sure, the city is built up of a lot of these sort of gated communities that are, an entire enclosed neighborhood. Some of them have central markets in them. So really, you could essentially get by just staying within that pocket. Defense Colony, which is where we live, is definitely like that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 8 ways into this colony, which is home to... But there's many thousands of people who live within this colony. So when you think about it, 8 ways in and several thousand residents, it's clearly limited access. What they usually do, especially at night here, is they close off all but 2 of those gates. So between the hours of 10 p.m. and I think 6 a.m., there's only 2 ways in or out of the colony. And that, is just for mostly keeping, through traffic out of the neighborhood. If you've kind of seen some of the stuff I've written about, traffic in Delhi is one of the, nastiest, just kind of day-to-day life issues here. And, it's like water. So wherever water can go, water will go. And that's the same thing with traffic here. So if you leave the gates open, your neighborhood streets will just get clogged up because everybody's looking for a way, that's faster and easier to get somewhere. So they close the gates. It just keeps the traffic out at night, keeps the noise down, and, provides a little bit of safety. Recently, they've installed some hydraulic gate arms, and they've been posting guards at the gates, which they didn't used to, but they started doing that a few months ago. So I haven't been over that way to the gates that are actually open to the outside world in probably a couple weeks, or almost a couple weeks. But I'm sure they're being staffed and they're keeping the flow of traffic regulated. So pros and cons. Obviously, the pros are it limits the ability for people to come and go, which when it comes to self-isolation is important. The con is that we, as a city and as a region, have had some trouble with supply chain. And I know I mentioned last time that India's got a very decentralized supply chain, and much like the traffic, where there's a way, it'll get through. But they have closed off the borders to UP, which is a neighboring state, and to Haryana, which is a neighboring state to the south. And that's actually where a lot of the warehousing and farming and all that stuff actually occur. So today being Tuesday, I can tell you that these companies that specialize in the logistics and delivery of cargo and by extension groceries and produce and all this stuff, are in a bit of a bind because they don't really know how to move their goods right now, which means that Amazon deliveries aren't going through right now. Our online grocery ordering has ceased functioning. There are plenty of like little organic farmers that do, farm to door delivery of, fresh produce. They're really struggling to figure out how to get their products through. So there's a lot of stuff to figure out. I have heard that there is a permitting system that they are trying to implement that would permit those businesses to travel and to transport their products. But it just sounds like they're kind of in the growing pains moment right now and trying to figure out how that system works. I don't think anybody really knows. So I'm hopeful that within the next couple days, they'll start getting that stuff figured out. Currently, when I placed an order yesterday for another grocery run, it was not going to be deliverable until Thursday. So already, Amazon, Big Basket, which is the grocery delivery, they're giving us delivery windows that are multiple days out already. So, clearly kind of seeing some of the kinks in the supply chain. But again, it is a multi-faceted system, and so those are just some of the avenues to get supplies. I called our local fruit stand in the market inside Defense Colony today and essentially gave them my produce order, and they had it brought to my front door within, half an hour. It was very expensive, but it was doable. I'm thankful that there's still supply, and I feel like there will continue to be supply. It's just these first few days trying to figure out how the new reality is supposed to work. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now. So that's the logistical stuff. Other than that, everything is doing good. I did get a request for more Sumit content, so let me bring her over here real quick. Sumit, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Say hi to the camera, Sumit.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm just living life as normal here. As far as I'm concerned, nothing has changed. Just staying indoors, pacing around, going after the birds on the terrace. The usual.
I know, you want to get down, don't you? Because you were busy. You were doing other stuff. I know. But you just got a bath. You're very clean. You're very sweet. We're lucky to have you. Yes. All right. Okay. I think that's about it. Cool trick. I made a risotto yesterday using the pressure cooker. I've never used a pressure cooker before. First time. Every Indian household has one. Our cook especially had me go buy one because she couldn't comprehend the fact that we didn't own one already. Anyways, I saw a tip that you can do risotto in the pressure cooker, and it takes about 4 minutes, and it's pretty impressive. It tasted phenomenal. So if you have a pressure cooker lying around and you've resisted making risotto for a long time because it is such a labor-intensive thing to make, why don't you give that a try? It was very cool. So there was a great great recipe posted up on the New York Times, their cooking site, and I just followed that, and it came out perfect. And it involved very little of the whole stirring business, which is what makes it such a pain in the butt to make. So hot tip for you, risotto. Oh, and Sarah also made sourdough pita bread the other day, which was amazing. If you're not doing sourdough right now, this is the time to do it. Build a starter, get going, because it's awesome. It's great having like fresh bread in the house. I was telling a friend the other day that access to good quality bread here is already tough, which is why we've been baking for a while. I'm super glad that we had all that all ready to go because now it's a cinch. We just make a couple bowls of sourdough every week. Sarah's been experimenting with sourdough pretzels and sourdough bagels and all sorts of really good stuff. So absolutely get on the sourdough bandwagon if you want. And that is it. Hope you guys are doing all right and staying healthy, staying home, and keeping busy and entertained. And yeah, let me know what's going on in your world. I'm curious what lockdown looks like wherever you might happen to be. So that's it for now, and thanks for checking this video out, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. All right, bye.